pearl. I can learn anything in the world if my mind can conceive it and my heart can believe it. I know I can achieve it. I am somebody. Stop the violence, save the children. Stop the violence, save the children. Stop the violence, keep hope alive. Keep hope alive. Keep hope alive to make you scream.
End of this day, we can turn to walk away, sing I am. Look at your neighbor, say neighbor. Good neighbor. Oh, I am somebody. Yeah. At the end of this day, turn to walk away, sing I am somebody.
Put your hands together. I was listening again today to television and various broadcasts describing Memorial Day. A big event here in Chicago today where one of the four-star journalists was a woman leading the parade. There never been any connection between Memorial Day and how it all got started. Jonathan will talk more about it. Santita mentioned it, and Dr. Arnold mentioned it. In 1865, the South was so angry with Union soldiers would come south to save the Union and to end slavery. They put them in a big field on a racetrack, and they let them die of diseases, let them die, and then they buried them in mass graves as a way of protest. And the Africans who had just been freed, they went and dug them up, put them in individual graves, and then 10,000 marched around the grave sites, both in Richmond, Virginia, and Charleston, South Carolina. And they memorialized those who had died because they sought to sacrifice for the Union and for freedom. It's a long way from just another parade and hamburgers and barbecue. Say Memorial Day is rooted in our thrust to end slavery and save the Union. Memorial Day, another holiday, starts with the genius and humanity of African Americans. Give yourselves a big hand for knowing that. And whether you are listening on VON, or iHeartRadio, or on TV, our impact around the nation, just know that in 1865, African people started Memorial Day thanking God for ending slavery and saving the Union. Secondly, we have something unique happening in Chicago. There are 4 million high school seniors, 4 million. We want each of them to come across the stage, the plume in one hand, the voter card in the other. You were watching this broadcast today and from your churches, and we couldn't always vote without lots of bloodshed and lots of killing. 18-year-olds, when we fought for the right to vote in 1965, African Americans had not been able to vote in 85 years or more. Women could not vote in the South, serve on juries. 18-year-olds who served in Vietnam could not vote. You could not vote on college campuses. You couldn't vote bilingually. But we kept fighting. We fought against gerrymandering, annexation at large, and various schemes. And finally, we got the 18-year-old the right to vote. So if I am a teacher or a parent, and my child or my student is graduating this May or June, they should have in one hand a diploma symbolizing accomplishment, knowledge, and wisdom, a voter card indicating power and maturity. We went to Homewood Flossmoor High School, Brother Patterson, about 2 weeks ago, 750 students in one spot. They can determine the makeup of the school board or the state rep. Power should not be thrown away. If they can learn the Star Spangled Banner, learn the pledge, they can also learn the power of their vote. Why should they vote? Well, article that Santita dug up. Trump's budget proposes $200 billion in cuts to students. That's why you should register and vote. Most poor students, you get a Pell Grant or go to a small underfunded college. Trump has taken $200 billion of Pell Grant money, put it into the space program. 200 say I should vote. So Pell Grants can be given to poor students and poor colleges. We vote, we want more scholarships. We vote, we want better teacher pay. We vote because schools must be a refuge from violence and danger. We vote, we must not allow Trump to take away education money, use it for guns and bombs. That's what this fight's all about. And so I want you who are there, you didn't have to march in Selma for the right to vote. You didn't have to face dogs. You didn't have to face guns and lost your job. But if you are the superintendent of a district or a principal and have your students, so we don't have time, if you can say if we can convene them for graduation, convene them for the prom, also have at that meeting a registrar. Rainbow Push is leading a drive for youth empowerment and voter crusade. If you're listening today anywhere in America and this makes sense to you, call right now, 773-FREEDOM, 773-FREEDOM. We'll make contact with the appropriate people where you live. All you have to do is do it. There's no George Wallace to stop you, no Bull Connor to stop you, no guns to stop you, no howling dogs. Just register and vote en masse and change America for the better. Also, before I bring on Brother Jonathan, I want to talk a bit about our convention because all of you have a role to play as we seek to convene our family. On the 28th of June, we're having a labor luncheon. The head of the International Painters Union will be our keynote speaker and one of the presidential candidates at that time. Why should we organize labor? Say many workers work below minimum wage. They work without health benefits. They work without job security. So one reason it matters that we're fighting on this, there's several million workers who work up to a day before they become full-time workers and they're eligible for salaries and benefits. They lay them off the day before the 6th month. They rehire them the next week. They game in the system. Something that workers work 29 days and they work up to the day of a full-time job and benefits and health care. Lay them off. Hire them again the next week. That's called temporary workers. That's game in the system. So we're going to organize whoever, a lot of the big box schools, Walmart, and a lot of them, they have workers who work in the storerooms. They work very hard. They work till the day before they are workers with benefits, and then we're going to fight back. That night is our educational banquet. When I was growing up, we adjusted to racial segregation. We rationalized why it didn't even matter. And white kids had several languages being taught, had swim pools in the schools and all such as that, and we didn't. And we said, they swim in the pool, we swim in the hole, both of us can swim. We got real crazy about it. And then we broke it up. But today, Jefferson, today what they're doing is that you live in Naperville, you live in Chicago. In Naperville, the school has 2 Olympic-sized swimming pools. They have skating rinks, roller skating rinks, And they teach various courses. They teach foreign languages. When they graduate from college, they go and sometimes they get a whole semester in grades because of where they went to high school. And you go out near Naperville, they say houses for sale near the high school. You know, the high school is so first class, it raises the real estate value of houses. When Rum closed 50 schools, he laid off 5,000 teachers. And the houses in the neighborhood lost their value. So when the houses were closed, teachers no longer came. They couldn't use the local restaurant or bar or cleaners or local grocery stores. The whole community went down. So we're fighting, we will file another lawsuit, begin the march from inner city to suburbs, demanding our children have the first class education. That's part of our struggle. That Saturday the 29th, we'll meet at Apostolic Church, Reverend Bishop Horace Smith. We meet there at 9 o'clock on Saturday morning, 8 o'clock for the breakfast that morning. A massive civil rights movement. That day at the Apostolic, and then afternoon we're going to have a rally, a family-style rally at DuSable High School in that area. Bring your own food, let's have a big time. And people like Bernie Sanders, others will be there on that occasion. On that night will be our Clay Evans Gospel Festival. Monday morning we'll go to Sheraton Hotel. Why are we meeting in the community? So when we meet in the community, use facilities built by Reverend Meeks, built by Bishop Horace Smith, built by Pastor Grace Brazier. It does not make sense to give all of our money to a hotel downtown. We're going to have a health care breakfast at the Sheraton on Monday morning. We're going to have the women's luncheon at noontime on Monday. The night we're having an athletic banquet because we were going from picking cotton balls to picking footballs and basketballs. We have the fun, we get the ring, they get the money. We're going to change our condition on that night. On Tuesday morning is our business breakfast. And then noontime, we close out with our minister's luncheon on that day. If you're interested in the convention, please call right now, 773-FREEDOM, 773-FREEDOM, or go to your website, www.rainbowpush.org, and let's get it on. We have work to do. We shall demand a plan to register our students to vote. We shall demand the Pell Grants be spent on the poor and the needy. We shall demand workers make wages and benefits. We shall demand jobs that pay. We shall demand decent houses. We shall demand a comprehensive health care. Put your hand together, this makes sense.